My next guest for the Self-Leadership Success Summit, I meet on the couch, and she is an amazing woman. She has competed in bodybuilding competitions. She's an author, co-author with her husband Marcus on this book, Fit to Lead. And I wanted to get her on to the Self-Leadership Success Summit because she's somebody that talks about being a leader, and very much something that I read in the book, being a leader for something rather than being a leader of people. Welcome, Sari Marsden.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.
So bring us up to date. You know, what's your story today? Where are you from? What have you done? And what are you doing now?
Today I just finished my running, so yeah, that's where I come from. So today, my book Fit to Lead was launched in 2017, and last year we had a great year by offering public workshop, corporate workshop, and also she's Fit to Lead, Fit to Lead for women. And then this year I am all about making a format of the Fit to Lead program. So I'm, emotional wise, I am very excited about, what I am going to do moving forward from here.
Very good. Now I want to get to that, but tell us your story. Where are you from?
I am Indonesian. I live in Singapore, obviously, and I used to be a radio DJ.
Right.
That's my first love of job.
Right.
And I love being radio DJ because it's all about creating the theater of mind, right? Speaking to people, playing the music, and then sort of being with the listeners without you gotta be with them in physically. And then I met Marcus, and then we got married, and then we moved to Hong Kong, and then that's where I changed my job. I gave up my job as a radio DJ, and then I became a personal trainer. So Marcus, that time, he was very into exercise, and he changed, he transformed, and it kind of bothering me. It's like, the conversation between husband and wife suddenly changed. And then I hated it so much being left behind. So you know what, I'm gonna sign up to the gym, and then I'm gonna hire a personal trainer, and then I'm gonna do whatever it is that you are doing, so I know what it feels. And then boom, 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 I created a great result with my personal trainer, and then I was in love with it, and I signed up to be a personal trainer, and then since then, yeah, everything's moving forward.
Okay. So when you said you had a great result, I think you're being very humble here. Tell us about that result. I mean, didn't you win a few things?
So that bodybuilding competition, or I call it fitness physique competition, happened when we moved to Singapore. And I did that to challenge myself because I'm a personal trainer. My client came to me, they wanted to find out how do I get six-pack abs. At that time it was like a big goal.
Right.
And then, well, I know the knowledge, I have the knowledge, but I don't have the experience of it. So you know what, so I challenged myself, and then I did compete for a fitness competition, fitness body competition, and I did great. But I remember, Andrew, my first competition was, I said to myself, look, I want to find out how to get six-pack abs. Backstage, I looked at my abs, so I got it.
Yeah.
So technically I didn't have to come out.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So it's like, just, yeah, I got it.
There's
nothing, nothing else.
I can look in the mirror.
Yeah, there you go. I don't have to prove anything. But there was something else. I think there was something else. There was something that drove me to come out. And the moment I come out behind the stage, and I knew that was it. That was it. This was the thing that's going to be a great lesson for me, being seen on the stage, and that was from my first competition. I did great, and then I went all the way for 2 years in competition, and I represented Singapore in Southeast Asia, and also Asian, and also World Championship.
Very good, very good. Now there's a theme here I'm sure everybody listening is picking up. You said my theatre in the radio with a microphone behind the scenes, and then I had to, I mean, the interesting language you use, I came out. So there was what was this, an inner dialogue or a self-belief? What is this about? What's so wrong about being visible?
I think that time it wasn't about what was wrong. I always admire people who go out there, putting themselves out there, speak, write, sing, and then they have a certain message, right, to the world. And I always wonder what it was. Like, I used to do your job like this, right, interviewing people, exploring, and I love everything about that. It's just not me, don't put me on the spotlight. It's kind of weird. But now I am in this position where you put me on the spotlight, and I think it's all come down to what being seen as a wholeness, your physical state, your mental state, your emotional state, and coming who you are, because everybody is unique. And if I am unique, that means I also have a unique message.
Right.
The message that can only come out from me. That's the message you are unique to, and then that message come out from you is so special.
Right. So was the pivot finding that you had a message? I mean, I heard when you said, if people are going to come to me for a six-pack abs, I need to kind of show the way. I need to challenge myself first. And I think that's great. I mean, even in the field of speaking, a lot of coaches or speakers will say, do this, but if you're a bit skeptical or cynical, you say, but did you do that? A lot of people have read the book and spout the theory, but they haven't walked the talk. What I love about your story is you said, if I'm going to be authentic, I have to walk that talk.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And for me, the journey is to find what authenticity really means to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it has to be the right answer for everyone, but to me, what it means to me. Or me being as a woman, what does it mean being a woman to me? I do have a self-belief that I'm not beautiful enough, that I'm not, powerful enough to be out there. But, it's all made up. It's all made up. That's what I realized from my competition stage and everything else.
I can imagine if you said that out loud, right? Your self-doubt. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not powerful enough. And people looking here, and I'm sure people said, what?
What? Well, the voice still there. I think this is my learning point as well. Is that the voice still there. The I'm not good enough. The I'm not beautiful enough. Still there. The difference is that I am now okay for people to see it. I am now okay for people to relate with me with that, because I know that so many women out there that we share this kind of conversation. Yet, what count is that what am I going to do with that?
Okay.
So that's where I come from.
You put a very important word out there, to count. There's a lot of research around women discounting much more than men. The classic that if there's a job available and there are 7 criteria for the job, a woman won't apply for that job unless she's got all 7 of those criteria, possibly 8. Whereas a man will turn up if he's got 3 out of the 7, right, and go, I'll bluff the rest. So, in the work I've done in coaching women, particularly around executive presence, it's always around this discounting. I'm comparing myself against some level of perfection. Did you do that? Was that the judgment or something else?
Yeah, I have a lot of self-judgment, and I criticize myself a lot too. And I'm sure when I speak like this, I know so many women and men as well probably have the same kind of conversation, the same narrative that's no longer serving me moving forward. And then again, come back to my point that everybody is unique. When we move our body, we have a certain path or a certain pattern. The way we think is also very unique. Our drive, our emotional connection also different. So everybody is unique. Therefore, if I keep comparing myself to the world standard or others better than I am, then forever I'm not going to move forward. Then forever I'm not going to explore what is it my gift for others. What is my sense of purpose being here in this planet.
Wow. So for those listening, if you keep quiet, if you don't have your voice, if you don't express your uniqueness, nobody else is going to be inspired, and you won't actually live the life you were meant to live.
Exactly.
So, what's really interesting here is that you had that self-awareness, and I'll come back to that, but you had the self-awareness, and then you went into the sort of self-regulation of changing that inner belief.
Yes.
And I want to explore that, but let's just go back. I haven't really expressed any self-leadership around couples on the Self-Leadership Success Summit, although just recently my wife Andrea and I were interviewed as power couples on radio. And I have a real belief around relationships is that we have to grow for ourselves, and we should never really attempt to change our partner. We should just be the best version of ourselves for our partner. And that's my belief. And it sounded like, when Marcus, your husband, headed off on his, did he nag you to come with him, or he just did his own path?
Not at all. He never nagged me. He didn't ask me to change. He just did his stuff. And then I was just basically being an observer.
Right.
But I want to participate in this relationship with me and Marcus, my husband. No, I want to be, I want to be able to create this relationship. And I imagine if I'm not moving forward, if I don't demand myself to grow, then I don't think my husband will grow as well. So, and I think he knows at the back of his mind, he just got to lead by example. He doesn't have to nag because he knows me. If he nags me, it's not going to work with Sari. So he knows that.
Message to all men watching this: don't nag your wives, and of course, vice versa. So be the inspiration for your partner, and they.
Yes, Andrew. Yes, it's being the inspiration, and I see your wife, and we kind of, when we see our partner grow, that's what healthy relationship is all about.
Very good. So back to this self-regulation.
Yes.
Of this you had. I'm not strong enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I want to stay behind my radio mic.
Yes.
Invisible. And then, wow.
Or being on the stage, not speaking.
Oh, okay.
By being bodybuilder.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I'm tempted to. Right. Okay.
Later we can do that.
Pardon?
Later we can do that. I can ask you to post.
So, what's the inner dialogue you have now? If the dialogue in your head was, I don't want to be visible, what do you say to yourself now?
Go out there, do your sprint, do weightlifting, and then an hour after that, I'm gonna ask myself a question. Do I need to come out and share message? Yes. As long as Andrew, as long as it's all come back again, right, to the purpose. Is there any purpose in it? What's the message that I'm going to send out? And if everything is aligned with my purpose, then yeah, I gotta do it, and I gotta walk my talk.
Okay. So it's not about being noisy about everything or visible about everything, because we live in an age of social media where there's so much noise. But I've spoken to a number of people from branding, a friend of mine, Andrea Edwards, the Digital Conversation. It's having a message, right? Spoke with a speech coach from Canada, Steve Lowell. It's about getting the clarity of that message.
Yeah.
When that gets out, it cuts through all the noise, and particularly and you keep saying this thing, take action or move forward. If you keep moving forwards in that direction, then that has power in it, right?
Yes, but I also believe in support system as well. I do believe in asking people. I do believe in hiring coach myself, because I definitely cannot see the way I play the game. Although I would like to believe that I have a self-awareness, but still everyone has a blind spot, and that's what I love doing as well. That I love seeking, support from others. I love engaging in conversation that sparks it light the bulb in my head, and also give me the boom 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 in my heart rate and stuff like that. Because if I can experience that in my body, and if I can speak with the sparkle in my eyes, that means I'm on something, and that means this person and we have created a great partnership. And hopefully that conversation will also help the person to grow.
Okay. I think there's a very important distinction here. Self-leadership does not mean doing everything by yourself, right? And self-leaders, of course, have that confidence to connect and with other people, and that collaboration piece is really strong. And many of the people we've interviewed on the Self-Leadership Success Summit have said it's about the right collaboration. The interesting thing is that you have to do the work on yourself first before you feel that you want to collaborate. It's not a collaboration from neediness. It's a collaboration from equality, isn't it? So I bring something to the party, you bring something to the party. I'm happy to ask help from you, and this, I guess, is where the reciprocity in life comes in, right? So, just as the partner thing is, the acknowledgement is for self, but then that allows you to be a useful member of a larger community.
Exactly.
So what communities do you move in, right? I mean, you say, I ask for help from a coach. You obviously work in the domain, the context of the fitness arena. What communities do you move in?
Well, I'm wearing two hats. One hat is a fitness coach, and then the other hat is a leadership coach. And what I love doing is actually integrate both. I do believe in the alignment of physical, mental, and emotional states, because that's what I discovered from my bodybuilding championship journey as well. And so what I offer is that, look, if you want to be fit, great, fantastic, keep on going, but channel that to the bigger purpose in your life. You know, what is it for? What result, what impact do you intend to generate for others? Mm-hmm. That's from fitness perspective. But then for leadership, gang or community, is that we've learned that it is a game of mental and also emotional. However, the body plays a significant role as well. And I do believe, again, in the alignment of the three. It's not just the physical element, gotta be the champion. It's not gonna work like that. But if we work in the physical, mental, and emotional, hey, probably we're gonna create a powerful leadership over here. You know, we learn everything in the body, and I love seeing leaders who are active, because they maximize their capacity, and that's what I am championing for.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, your mental age is limited by your physicality, right? So there are people who are 50 years old chronologically, but mentally are 70, 80 years old because they've allowed their body to shut down. Now, this is a reality. That's science, not just judgment, right? So we had the vice president of Red Hat software company for Asia on the show, and you know, he challenges himself to run up mountains, and he finds that pushing his physicality allows him to be a better leader. So
I agree. Yes.
Confirming your thesis there, right? So physical, mental, and emotional. So we've talked about the physical, we talked about the mental. What about that emotional bit, right? So how do you work with people on developing emotional strength?
I learned that one of the key things is that how to navigate the emotion. I learned that the challenge nowadays is that to understand what is this emotion is all about. Can you name it? Can you take a look at it? What does it mean? Because every emotion has a purpose. That's my belief. And if we can understand what is this emotion is all about, it can navigate our decision making as well. So I can make tons of decisions in one day, but then how do I feel about that? Mm-hmm. You know, how do I feel about this decision? This is the most important decision in my life. But not so often in my clients, they don't find time, or they don't want to stop and pause for a while. Stop, look, how do you feel about this? How do you feel? How does it make other people feel about it? So emotional connection to the purpose is also important.
Okay, so you've got to have that purpose, mm-hmm. and you've got to put some emotion behind that purpose.
Yes.
Very good. All right, very good. So what is your message, and what is your purpose that you're working on at the moment?
As a woman, I think it's always come down to me about the emotional connection of what being strong woman to me mm-hmm. is all about. Like I shared before, I have self-doubt, I have conversation that I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, and everything else. Through fitness, I learned that actually, you know what, I can create my own definition of what beautiful is all about. I can create definition of what being strong is all about. So for me, that's how, you know, being emotionally connected to the purpose, because I would love to walk with women out there walking in the leadership path, and together that we are okay in our imperfection, but also we are going to celebrate our awesomeness as well. For women to have a muscle, we both have muscle and also curve.
I'll do that. She finally did it.
and we don't have to hide either of them. That's my purpose.
Yeah, as you say in your book, women have muscles and women have curves, and they should be proud of both of them. Right? I think that's great, and you know, really for men and for women, right? There's so much societal expectations, right? This is how we're supposed to look. This is how we're supposed to act, etc. And a key element of self-leadership is about finding authenticity, finding self-awareness. You know, what's your strength? What's your contribution? And I think it's fantastic that you're empowering. And this myth of perfection, for me, is just terrifying. That there's some perfection, and we've had discussions around, you know, what social media does to people's heads around this perfection. But celebrating the awesomeness, right? So it's great. What a great message. I hope you're getting that message on this.
I hope so. And yes, for me, if I just focusing on perfection, it's kind of limiting me.
Right.
But if I look for, okay, what can be better? I mean, what can be? How can I make this excellent? For me, it's much more empowering, right? So I think the key thing is that you got to find for yourself what will be the empowering conversation, what will be the empowering narrative, the one that stuck in your mental and then also emotionally connected to the purpose, and then move the body as well along with it.
So always some movement. You know, what I keep hearing from you is a sort of catchphrase: move forwards, do something. I'm scheduled to interview Julie Crefeld out of the United Kingdom, and she started a whole meme around fat girls running, and she's a big lass, as they would say in England, and she went off and she ran a marathon, and she's been empowering. And again, you know, this, you don't have to be perfect, right? And everybody's perfect for somebody, right?
Yes. And also part of my learning is have a fabulous relationship with stress, and I have a fabulous relationship with failure as well.
Okay, well, let's explore that. So the relationship to failure, of course, is the resilience piece. But what's this fabulous relationship to stress?
Gosh. Well, you know, stress is, so many people think about, okay, I don't want to get stressed. Stress is a bad thing and everything else. But if you think about it, that's the good news about stress too. The opportunity of stress, it grows you. You know, you can grow because of it. The stress itself is not enemy or angel, but it's just stress. What makes it bad stress or good stress is depending on how we respond to it, whether we want to see it as opportunity or threat, right? So often, I coach my clients with the goal of managing stress. Well, I said that, but our work is not about managing the stress. Our work is to train how do you respond to a certain stress, and then make a small practices that can help them to create a big result, a big impact. For instance, just the capacity to say yes or no. To set the boundary.
Yeah, I'm big on boundaries. Yes and no. I love what you said. The small practice for the big result.
Yeah.
And so many people try and create change by doing everything at once. It's those micro goals, right?
Yeah.
So how do you say no? No explanation, no embarrassment, just no.
If you think that check within on your plate, if it's too much, if it's not gonna help your partnership grow, then no. Or say yes, and when you say yes, it has to be a committed action with it. Because, you know, if you say yes, but it's actually no, then it's breaking trust.
Okay.
So yeah, this is also my practice, right? And it's not that easy as well for me. Again, come back to the conversation of having a great relationship with failure, with stress. Last year, I just said yes to many, and then I found myself, it's just like, oh my God, I was so overwhelmed and everything else. And then I said, hey, but the purpose for me to say yes this year is just to put myself out there. Whether successful or not, I don't really care at this moment. My practice is just go out there, put yourself out there, and be okay to be seen. So this overwhelming is part of learning for me.
Oh.
And that's okay, that's how I know, okay, next time, here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So there's a real self-learning, you come around to the self-learning
Yes,
piece here.
there you go.
I thought it was stress, but really it's actually just part of the process to me coming out and being visible. I thought you were going to say no to this interview, but you said yes. Thank you for that.
Yes, you're the one who asked, like,
Yeah, there was a moment there I thought you were going to say no. I'm glad you said. You said no to doing it by video and yes to doing it in live, which I'm calling on my couch.
No, I enjoy this conversation, and really.
Very, very good. And I'm sure everybody watching this has enjoyed the conversation. So some key lessons, obviously, is be visible, take action, and enjoy that process. But whatever you do, keep moving forwards.
Move your body, move your life.
Move your body, move your life. What a great tagline. Thank you, Sari Marsden.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I appreciate this.
My pleasure.